It has come to our attention that a serious and disturbing case involving Ben Azoulay became public after his appearance on our podcast. The case, dating back to 2008, involves allegations of sexual assault against a minor. We were completely unaware of this information prior to recording with him. Let us be clear, the WiseNuts podcast does not condone, excuse, or tolerate any form of sexual assault, violence, or predatory behavior, past or present. We expect honesty and transparency from every guest who comes on our platform, especially from someone who chose to speak publicly about manhood, marriage, and personal values, all while withholding such a critical part of his history. We call on Ben Azoulay to publicly address this matter, take accountability, and provide an explanation. Our platform is built on truth, integrity, and respect for our audience, and we remain committed to being transparent in situations like this.
Look, I understand that you don't like it when I speak about Islam.
I'll tell you personally right now, I don't give a who you are. No, I think
Then
you
you're
just
wrong.
have a bad view about Muslims.
No,
Someone needs to
no,
enlighten you,
God
that's all.
forbid, because I have a lot of Muslim friends.
You said about Prophet Muhammad that, the foundation of Islam.
The foundation, because of the things that happen.
Come on, this is getting
How?
stupid, bro. Where's this going with? What are you talking about?
No, but
Prophet
you asked
Muhammad, let
me.
me tell you. Here, I'm a Muslim.
Very
They put
quickly.
him there. They told him,
I'm
go over
explaining
there.
to you that
1 second, guys. 1
innocent
second.
people killed thousands of Jews.
Why
He
didn't
killed
he-
one family and married the wife in the same day.
And don't tell me right now you're a perfect Jew.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for taking time out of your Monday to be with us. We got two influencers here sitting down with us. We have Ben Azoulay and Ali Soba. So both of you guys have been making a lot of noise in social media recently. And for a very, very long time, a lot of people have said it would be interesting to have both these guys in the room at the same time to talk about current events, to talk about being an influencer, to talk about everything. And the WiseNuts actually made this happen. So from Detroit and LA, now you guys are sitting down with us. Very quickly, first thing we want to cover is the story of how you guys basically potentially knew each other or connected with each other online. So with Ben, how did you hear about Ali?
Funny story. I had one of my coaches, my MMA coach. He messages me and said, there's a guy who's talking shit about you. I said, okay, many people talk shit about me. It's normal. He said, no, but this guy is special. He also has a beard. I said, okay, he's got a beard. Special guy. Who is this guy? Is he known? Is he somebody or just another guy? He says, no, this guy is known. He's an influencer. And, you guys are kind of like in the same era. Would be a good thing if we get you guys to fight. I told him, okay. If he talked shit about me, I have to answer. No problem. Message him. Tell him we could fight. Later on, it didn't end up. I don't know what they talked, didn't talk. He sends me the video, and I said, this guy's not talking shit about me. What are you talking about? He said, no. He said that when you walk into a room, you don't give a fuck who the king is. You walk around like you are the king. You're either the king or you don't give a fuck who the king is.
100%.
He's speaking directly to you. He took it personal. I told him, listen, this is a very famous quote. But okay. If anything else comes up, no problem. Then I start getting people sending me his videos and saying, you need to fight this guy. You need to fight this guy. Everybody wants to see everybody fight. People are more connected to drama, 9 times more connected to drama than to positivity.
I agree.
So it's really funny that you guys have surprised me here with the gentleman who came from, where'd you come from?
Detroit.
Detroit. all the way from Detroit to come out here. You guys gave me a good surprise. I already know this is going to be good. He stung me in the beginning. Good sting. Don't worry. I'm going to sting you back. I hope you don't get heartbroken.
Hell no. No.
Man to man,
Man
yeah?
to man. There is no heartbroken.
As long as you
man
can
to
take stings back because you started, we're going to continue.
I didn't start nothing. What you talking about? I started.
I walk into the room. Mr. Ali.
You're the one that's talking. You walk into a room and you have a video that's viral. You intimidate guys. And there's no intimidation. When I walk in a room, I make people love me and respect me.
When I put out that video, it was from a podcast that I did about a year and a half ago. And in the whole podcast, they're talking about me being somebody that's very scary. So I explained to them when I was younger, I used to walk into a room and everybody would fear me. There's a reason for that. Not because I'm somebody that everybody should fear, but I was like a menace to society. I went through hardships as a young boy and throughout my life. I personally felt like everybody was against me. So when I walked into a room, I stared everybody in the eyes. If they kept their eyes on me, we would fight. If they are serious men, it could turn into something completely different. If they put their eyes down, I continue to go have my lunch.
But why does it have to be like that? Or is
Back-
that what your choice was at
back
that time?
then,
Do you still
yeah.
believe this way?
No. I walk into a room today, except making sure that I'm not being attacked, I only walk in with love. It's so completely different today. It's social media, and in social media, obviously, when we say something,
They
we
blow
also
up.
want people to understand that I am a dangerous individual because you get so much hate on social media. So I hoped that it would just turn them down from talking shit. It brought more shit. Positivity is very rare in today's world, and you already know that. There's a lot of conflict with everything that's going on. Everybody's at war. And the reason is people are at war with themselves. They cannot get along with themselves. So to get along with more people, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get another person to deal with another person and get along. That's why most people are fake. Because if they really told you what it is that they feel about you, you're most likely not going to be their friend.
Yeah.
The ones that look perfect on the outside are completely destroyed on the inside.
Yeah.
The ones that have imperfections on the outside are the most perfect individuals on the inside.
I agree.
That's 1,000,000%. And I've tested that theory 1,000,000 times. And you can see it in the US. In the US, you feel it. But it takes a real man to understand that.
Not only in the U.S., it's broadened. Men. These days are taking roles of ladies, feminism, and women are taking roles of male traits. Because men have become very weak. That's why I came in here. To bring up men. And to bring back alphaness to men. It's sad and it's disappointing. But when you're really a true man and a gentleman, and feared in respect, feared with love, that's, I feel, as a real man, and we lack it not only in America, we lack it all over the world now. It's branching off all over,
Especially in the West.
Yeah.
In the West, you're going to get that kind of a man.
I believe it started in the West. That's why it's especially in the West, because that's the root of
course.
when you
It's the root
dominate
of
a man,
all evil.
when you break the man, now you can do whatever you want in this world with it. Yeah, it's because the bigger powers up there want us broken, And if the man is broken, we can control him. He won't climb to the top.
Of course.
And they want him to be weak. It's okay to cry as a man. It's okay to, wash dishes and, act like a woman. It's okay. That's breaking a man down,
In my
for
house,
other
I say
attention.
there's 2 roles. Which role you want to play? You want to pay the bills? You want to protect?
Or you want to wash
Not with
dishes.
me. But if that's what you want, then obviously it's not the place. Because we both know you couldn't do it. And the problem is that here in the United States and in the West, they told a woman she could become independent, but independent means one. It doesn't mean two, it means one. It's independent. And an independent woman works so she doesn't need a man.
Yeah, she's
And a
dependent on
man
herself.
works so he could give to the woman.
Of course.
You will never see a woman seeing a man working at McDonald's, even if he's handsome, even if he's buff, even if he has a big one. No problem.
Gentlemen, sorry to interrupt.
Uh-huh.
As we're talking about masculine roles, feminine roles, I want to bring up the topic of demasculinization and the feminist movement. I want to get both of your inputs as to what's happening to the male figure and what's happening to the female figure, the roles that are taking place right now, and how in Western society, women are taking more dominant roles and men are becoming a lot more softer. Let's start with Ali. What are your thoughts on what's happening to society and how men are becoming more demasculinized?
It's disappointing. That's one of the reasons that I came into the social media platform, is to bring up back men. This is the West making men, as a weaker man, demasculizing them and making a woman more masculine. This is really what's destroying society. How's a man gonna be a provider if he's here doing woman traits, and how's a woman gonna be feminine if she's here doing men traits? And someone needs to speak up and reopen this and remotivate the men and remotivate the woman, because a lot of women that are taking this role are really not happy. Are really not happy. I get a lot of DMs from a lot of ladies. Most of my, I got a lot of followers from ladies, and few DMs come in and, I show your video to my man, where are you? Where are you from? I never, these men don't even exist anymore. A lot of, just that message right there is thousands of DMs I get from ladies saying, where is this man? I never see this man anymore, which,
Let me ask you, Ali. You're in a relationship now?
I'm in a few relationships,
relationships.
Still filtering out to become into a,
They're all going to see
solid-
this podcast.
what is it?
They're all going to see this podcast.
Of course.
How many are there?
There's a few,
Few?
I'm filtering it down. Yeah.
Okay.
I just recently got divorced, so I believe a lot that, success still starts within. I believe that a relationship is the biggest role in success. So you should have a partner, you should be married.
Are you
If you
divorced one time? Or?
No, I'm just divorced. Yeah.
Divorce.
Yeah, I'm divorced. I don't want to get too much in depth, but I'm divorced.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why do you feel that you guys had to separate?
I don't think that's irrelevant. But what,
The reason I'm asking that is
yeah,
because women have changed, right? Living in the West, you live in the US. I live in the US. I brought my wife from Israel. A woman in the West, I wouldn't have married her. Now, they say that when you bring them here, something might change within time.
yeah, 100%.
And that's, I'm asking because I want to know, did she become more westernized that you just felt like you?
No, my situation is more of, jealousy, too much jealousy, insecurity from her end.
From her end?
Yeah, too insecure.
She wants to know where you're at, what you're doing.
Yeah, she wants,
She doesn't let you.
She knows I'm gonna launch this social media platform, and she told me it's either me
Or social media.
or social media. And when you give a woman that kind of
Power.
access after that, it's just falls apart, And and that's, here I am.
And the reason
as a
I'm asking
social
you,
media.
because people at home will want to know, because the divorce rates are huge.
Yeah, and it's continuing growing.
And today-
it's continuing growing.
82% of women in marriage initiate the divorce. They file for divorce. 18% is from men.
Yeah,
Men stick around.
Men, when you ever heard of, when they keep focusing on a woman when they break up, but the man hurts more than the woman when he breaks a relationship, when he breaks out of a love, because men are not made to leave. They really want to commit, And because ladies are filled with a lot of emotions, and then, you know, the social media that's going on and the freedom that's allowing them to have, you know, the independence, especially in the West, you know. So I don't disagree with certain divorces. You know, it's welcomed in our religion, but it's the last resort. And for my scenario, it was because of the emotions that she couldn't control. But
I have a great way of explaining it.
yeah,
Why men hurt way more than a woman.
let me see your point.
And I'm sure you're going to feel it the way I do. Because I was in some relationships, and when we separated, I 100% hurt more than she did.
Yeah, you were in a serious relationship in the past, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
A long time.
Yeah.
I have a child.
So you can relate to my divorce too. So any separation, whether it's a separation through a divorce or a separation through a separation, just
And I'll tell
let
you
it go.
why. Because when a woman is dating a man, she's looking at him to protect her, to look after her, to pay for her, to be there for her like a father. She looks at him like a father figure. When a man is with a woman, because he protects her, because he provides for her, because he constantly has to tell her, you can't go over there, you can't do this, just to protect her.
Yeah,
you know, you can't walk in the
can't
street
dress
at
this
12
way.
o'clock at
Yeah,
night.
you can't
Don't dress like
that.
that because men are like this and they're looking at you like you're some bait.
Yeah, watch your voice, watch your tone.
He looks at her like his daughter.
Yeah.
And in our nature, you are meant to lose a parent, but you're not meant to lose a
100%,
child.
100%.
And a man loses a child when him and his woman separates. And that is why it is so much harder for the man than it is for the woman.
Yeah.
And people at home, when I said this, looked at me and said, what? Sounds like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like I'm dating a 12-year-old, you know? My wife is 20. My wife is 27. It's not like I'm dating somebody that's underage. But the way you treat her with so much love, with care, with providing for her, opening the door, taking care of her. If somebody's going to walk into the house and attack, I don't send my wife. I go out there.
Yeah, no matter what, right away.
I will
You're
die,
ready to
no
die.
problem.
You're ready to die. And
But-
from the first moment that a woman's in my life, I'm ready to die for it. They don't understand that. A lot of them don't understand this. Yeah.
And today, and you know, I remember being a younger man where people felt like they were able to tell my woman how I am. Oh, he's controlling. Oh, this guy will suppress you.
Yeah.
This guy is a narcissist.
Yeah.
He's Machiavellian. Huh?
Manipulative, all this, yeah.
All of these things. Today, my wife sees me almost like I'm God.
Yeah. How long did it take you after your separation from your
From my ex?
Yeah, from
3.5 years.
So you
I
had
was
to
single.
What'd you do? Didn't you have to rebuild yourself, take a pause, understand what just happened, whether you were at fault, whether that person was at fault?
I had to leave because of the situation, and the situation was she started to get physical with me.
Mm.
Now I can't get physical with a woman,
No.
so you have to leave.
Physical, obviously, probably with the tongue, right?
Yeah, but you can't even get physical, right?
Yeah.
You can't even say something the wrong way
No, her
because
physicalness was what? With the
no,
tongue?
no, no,
Wasn't it with
with
hands?
hands.
The hand?
No,
Mm.
with hands. And I'm very open about it because I want people to know at home
Yeah, that
that
there's men that
even
get abused,
men like me
can be abused.
can be abused.
Yeah.
And then she would say, "You could take it, or what are you gonna cry like a bitch?" I said,
Or-
"No, I
or
don't want
use
to
kids
cry, but
against
you
you.
want me to accidentally move my hand. If I touched you, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Right? Step away from me. We can't stay together."
Did you have a child by her?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they use that against you. And many men are broken because of this, because of the scenario of
I
you have a child by this woman. You don't want your child to grow up with us men, especially an alpha male, especially a man that understands other men, understands how men think. You don't want that son because majority of the jails, what are they filled with? Where they come from?
98%
Of what? Yeah.
of men in jail
From where?
are in jail because of a woman,
No, not only just from
and
they come from
majority of them
broken homes.
from a
broken
single
homes.
mother.
Yeah, broken homes. broken homes. So
it is
and they use
literally
it against us. You know, a lot of men are suffering by this. So you know, it's nice that we can tap into this, and they use that weakness because men have a weakness for that. They don't want to raise their child without them. They don't want to raise their child knowing that their mother is with another man, because that plays a big role on the man and the woman, the daughter and the son.
Let me pivot something for you right now. It's been almost 4 years I have not seen my son. The courts of Ohio took jurisdiction over my son.
Yeah.
Today I received a letter that her new husband has adopted my son,
Oh my God.
and I will not see him until he's 18.
Oh my God.
On top of that,
Yeah.
I gave him a middle name, which is a Jewish name, Liel, and she allowed him to name my son the middle name, which is his first name. His name is Thomas. He named my son Donovan, which is the name we gave him. He took out Liel, named him Thomas.
They can do that without your consent?
Without my consent, and the last name straight. They were just going to change the Azoulay. He put his name as my son's middle
Why
name.
didn't you step in? You could have.
I spent $350,000, 4 years in the courts.
Yeah.
I got screwed and fucked from every
Yeah,
direction.
it's sad that how in America they side for the woman and they just really want to wipe us.
They only see the woman.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is why I say, if the devil can't get to you, he'll send you a woman. You have to really be careful who the woman is.
On top of that, you know, I agree with you that, and I would like to add to that, you know, love is not enough for a relationship. You know, you need a religion to help you keep
%.
the devil
%.
away. Love will last for a certain amount of time. A lot of people get into a relationship about physical attraction, how she treats them, this and that, or vice versa. But they forget that there's a religion. We all get married and we're all supposed to be together because God says we're supposed to be together. And slowly, because there's no religion, the devil makes his way. But the two strong things that hold a relationship together is love and love for God. You know, so a lot of people are not looking at that a lot and get into these relationships. They don't look at the lady, what are her beliefs, or looking at the man. You know, what is it? Does he fear God? Does he believe in a God? You know, this is very, very important, and this is the root of all divorces or all separation, even if it's not marriage. Is the devil gets in because they lack a religion.
Today's show is sponsored by the law offices of Arman Grigorian. If you're injured in a car accident and need proper guidance and representation, reach out to the law offices of Arman Grigorian, 1-818-404-0333. Are insurance companies giving you the runaround? Don't settle for less. Public Assist fights for you, not the insurance companies. To get the maximum payout on your claim, whether it's for fire, water, or property damage, call Public Assist today and tell them the WiseNuts sent you. Get what's rightfully yours. 818-242-0998. 818-242-0998, because you deserve every single dollar.
You're a Muslim, right?
Alhamdulillah, proud Muslim.
You know that a lot of Christians today in the US, male, are starting to become Muslim. They're leaving Christianity and becoming Muslim.
And why is that in your opinion?
It is because of the fact that Christianity, unfortunately, it's a dying religion. And why it's a dying religion? Because people are born into Christianity, but they don't practice Christianity. And because
Or they're lost in it
Islam,
because of how many different sectors there's in it and how many people are describing Christianity as.
of course, but they're pulling them out of Christianity. And what happened is that the women are no longer women of God. And the system is all for the woman. So it becomes so difficult to be in a relationship with a Christian woman who wants to be independent, who wants to sleep around with men whenever she feels like it,
Yeah,
who wants to go out and party with her girls even when she's married,
yeah.
who does not want to take care of one child, let alone wouldn't even have 2 kids because it's too much headache, and leaves the child with a Hispanic woman Maribel, who then the kid calls Maribel mom, and the mom calls by the name Jessica. And these are the problems that we are facing today. And it's a big problem because now the women of the US are starting to realize they are losing the men. They're either losing the men to Islam, or if you heard about those men that are called the passport boys, they are going overseas. For example, like my father. My father, when my mom, when they separated, my father started dating women here, realized that the women here are shit, flew to Thailand, met a young girl in her early 20s, looks at him like he's the king of all kings. He's 65, treats him like no woman treats even me and you, because no matter what, even Muslim women don't treat their men like the Thai women. You come back home, she washes his feet, she takes care of him, she bathes him, she shaves his back. Like it's unbelievable, as long as he's taking care of her. And she doesn't move left or right. So a lot of these men are going out to get Latina women that show love, Asian women. Some go to get Eastern European, and some here are becoming Muslim so they can get a Muslim woman, because they know if the woman is Muslim, she cannot go with a Christian. So they convert into Islam, which is a huge issue.
Now, Ben, you mentioned how you think
One
Christ-
second. Why is it an issue of them moving into Islam?
Because if you are born into a religion, you should stick to your religion. I believe that God put everybody here for a reason. And to be honest with you, I mean, God, if he created the first book, which is the Old Testament, I don't think he needed to rewrite it. Islam, Christianity. But if there is already somebody rewrote the books, then you have other religions, that is fine. But stick to your religion, because now these women in the West that are Christian are having a hard time finding a Christian man. So it becomes an issue.
So you're saying the Christian men are not really Christian men, or they're
Correct.
lost in Christianity, so they look for
The women are lost. That's why the men became lost. The women are lost completely in Christianity. They don't believe what they don't see. A lot of them became even atheists. But in Islam, you could find one, you could actually marry multiple women,
as a man,
right? As a man, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not a woman. A woman cannot marry multiple women. But you can marry multiple women as a man.
Okay.
As long as you're treating them all the same, right? It has to be equal. Like if you buy this one a Mercedes, you need to give them also a Mercedes, correct?
Yeah, but I disagree with the Christianity into Islam to a certain degree that it's how Christianity and Islam and Judaism is being portrayed on people. That's why they're being lost, coming from broken homes. They're trying to understand. Usually, a mom and a dad raised in a proper home, marriage the right way, men holding his roles as a provider, being outside of the house, making sure everything is good, where the mom just nurtures this kid, not only from emotions to religion. And both parties don't understand their religion the right way, because a lot of kids, this second generation, third generation, are growing up without fathers in the mix, and mothers not in the mix, because they're so busy. Even if they're with their mom, the moms are busy being independent, providing, working, and these kids are growing up not even understanding. There's problems also in Islam, and there's problems in Judaism as well. So I just believe that, that a lot of this brokenness is happening because it all starts at home. It starts because there's no relationship the right way, And
you think if a man right now is Christian and he's going into Islam, just because he wants a better woman, he truly is Muslim? You know what I mean?
I don't think many men are just going into Islam just because of a better woman, because they're still good Christian people.
Very hard to find them now, as the women.
Because
they have sex at the age of 13.
They're not practicing their religion the right way.
Correct.
They're lost.
They're sleeping around the age of 13 because they're being raised by the system. They're being raised by school.
Exactly.
After school, it's like an after-school program. After that, come back home, watch TV. Mom comes back at 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
We're having issues in Islam, same thing. There's divorces, Lebanon, and I'm sure in Israel, same thing. There's divorces. It's happening everywhere. It's just
something that people don't understand. Israel and America is the same country.
No, I understand it.
People
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Yeah.
People go, hey, why are we helping Israel so much? Well, Israel is doing all the dirty work for the US. Whatever the US says, Israel does. Not to forget to mention that half of the military supply that we have here in the US was all invented by Jews. So we invent all of these things and we just give it, hand it over. You know, we just gave us here the Iron Dome, for example. So nobody could come and attack.
So
Like inventions that are beyond people's understanding. But we do all the problems that are needed to be taken care of in the Middle East that is taken care of by us.
well, you also agree before we move on to another topic that, you know, a broken home is what breaks everything, breaks a religion,
Of course.
breaks morals, breaks
course.
values.
Of
That's
course.
the main thing. And this is what's happening in society. And this is what the West is pushing and pulling through independence, through social media, through movies, through actors, through Hollywood.
Do you
know,
believe in God?
150%. I wouldn't be a Muslim if I don't believe in God.
Do you believe your mom is your mom?
What you mean? Of course I believe my mom is my mom.
Or you know your mom is your mom?
What is it?
Or you know your mom is your mom?
No, I believe my mom is my mom.
No, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So if you are a true believer, believe is a word of doubt. And people don't know when they're using it in the US. You know God exists. Because I could see through your eyes that you've been through some shit. Yes? I'm not mistaken.
Of course. We all
And if
we
not
all
God,
go
you
through
wouldn't be
struggles.
sitting here.
What is it?
If not for God, you wouldn't be sitting here, right?
150%. It all comes from God, the power of God.
I'm
And how
same
you
way.
connect with it and how you believe in it. Yes. Yes, you're right with this. Yes.
So we know God exists.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
preach it every single day on everything that I show. And it doesn't matter what religion you're from. You need to truly be connected to God. And God is like Wi-Fi. You could connect to him anywhere.
Anywhere.
You don't have to see him. You could pray from anywhere.
And it's disappointing that people don't know that that's all it is that's causing the biggest problems.
All
That's
it
all
is.
it is. And they make it feel that's no way this is all it is. Really, I just got to believe in God and pray and do right.
Yes.
It'll solve most of my problems. And
Yes.
hell yeah.
Yes.
It's that easy, but they make it seem to you it's that hard. That's not this. There's more to it. There's the grass is greener somewhere else. And yeah.
People are very stupid today.
Yeah.
Very, very stupid. They don't believe that God exists. They don't know where they came from. They don't know where they're going.
How did they
They're
become
completely,
stupid? Being
completely
raised
lost.
without proper parents in the house, without a proper relationship in the house.
Were you born a Muslim?
I was born a Muslim, yes. Yes.
How do you feel about the religion?
My religion?
Yeah.
I respect it. I love it. And the reason why is also I'm not obnoxious. I love Christianity. I love obviously that people that practice Christianity the right way, because I read into the books to a certain degree that enough for me to understand, for me to stay as a Muslim. I also understand Judaism. And I said, you know what? You know, when you grow up, because at the end of the day, you know, God is not going to put you in heaven because your mom said go to heaven, or your dad or your son. At the end of the day, God is going to tell you. Or if, I was a Jew or a Muslim or a Christian, this is what they told me what to do. Hey, listen, because in Judaism, there's rebels, there's people that also want a man that wants to pull you in their direction and use religion to manipulate you to do whatever, to get whatever they want. In Christianity as well, and in Muslims, there's a lot of sheikhs, same thing.
Let me ask you, there's an issue, obviously, that you know with Islam that I wonder if you, since you do care for everybody, right? And I also care for everybody. I care for Muslims, I care for Jews, I care for Christians, Catholics, everybody. My question is, if every terrorist attack was done by a Muslim, how do you see those Muslims, and how do we stop that so Muslims don't have, that view? Or, hey, when you look at a Muslim, you're like, okay, I need to think about it. Is he going to hurt me or is he not going to hurt me?
Well, how do you describe the terrorist? What do you mean terrorist? There's
Let's not talk about war. In a second, we could talk about war. But my question is, if you have right now 72
every Muslim, right?
72, you have 72 Christians who their heads were chopped off in the Middle East, because they are Christians. Chopping off somebody's head, claiming you're a Muslim. In Islam, are you supposed to do that to somebody who is not Christian or not Muslim? if he's Christian, if he's Jewish,
course
or
not.
you're not.
No, you're not. You're not. Just
So
like
what would
also
we
in
call these
Christian,
people?
Also in Christian, those are extremists. Those are not really Muslims. Those are non-believers, or disguised as Muslims to do whatever they need to do.
Because
These
when
are-
I go to Dubai, I feel great. I feel
course.
amazing.
Of course.
At the
Where
end of the
else-
day, Jews and Arabs are cousins.
any Muslim country, you're gonna feel great. Even if why just Dubai? You can
Well,
go,
no,
you know.
there's Muslim countries that personally, as a Jew, I cannot go to. I cannot go to Syria. I cannot go to Iran. There's no Jews over there.
The same thing. The same thing that for me, I cannot go to Israel if I go.
No,
back
no,
to,
no. What do you mean? That? We
You're
have
not- You're not
mosques in
understanding.
Israel.
I'm allowed to go there as an
Yeah.
American citizen.
No, no, no. As a Muslim,
As an American citizen, as a Muslim,
but we have
Israel
mosques.
accepts that. But I'm saying if you go back to go to another Muslim country, certain Muslim countries don't allow
but-
you, and
but
because you
there
went
is-
to Israel,
but
that's
there is-
wrong.
but there
that's
is-
wrong. What I'm trying to tell you.
But there is mosques in Israel.
Yeah.
There is Muslims that live in Israel. Nobody ever goes to kill the Muslims in Israel. Ever. Ever. There's not one incident of somebody killing a man because he is Muslim. But there's so many incidents.
You're telling me there's no
Obviously,
Israel's in there's no Israeli people in Dubai or visit
only
Dubai?
in Dubai. No, they actually live in Dubai now,
Yeah.
but only in Dubai.
Yeah.
Only in the UAE.
An Israeli can go to Lebanon?
No.
Why he can't go to Lebanon?
Because if you go to Lebanon and you get caught by Muslims, you will die. Matter of
That's
fact,
not-
today they wouldn't even let you
No,
in.
that's not true. And if I go to Israel to a certain place too, there are people that look at Islam in a bad way too. I will die too.
No.
If you go in a certain place in America too, that's
I'm
held
just-
with certain people,
I'm just saying that in Israel, we all live in peace and there is no issues because of religion. But there is a lot of terrorist attacks. For example, 2 days ago, a woman was driving with her husband. He was driving. She was in the passenger seat. She was going to deliver. Her water broke. And 2 Muslims that are terrorists came and shot the car.
they're not Muslim Dubais. They're not, one second. They're not Muslim Dubais. They're not Muslim Saudis. They're not Muslim Lebanon. They're Muslims claiming from
In Lebanon,
Palestine.
we cannot go in.
Huh?
In Lebanon, we cannot go in. We cannot. I'm not allowed to go into Lebanon, even though I have an American passport, because it
Because
says
they fear for your life.
it says that I'm
Because if you
Jewish.
go in a certain area, you might be killed because of your
Yeah, my
background.
wife, for example, she's Israeli. She
Yeah.
doesn't have an American passport. I can't get her into Bali. Bali, Indonesia. They don't let her in. I have an American passport. She doesn't. She cannot go into Bali because it's a Muslim country. Although when you go to Bali itself, which is an island off of the coast of Indonesia, they are Balinesian and they are Hindu. And they don't have a problem with Israelis coming over there. But
You're talking about now in certain areas of Israel and certain areas of Palestine. That's in depth, but we can go back to history of Islam.
Yeah.
Where Israelis lived under the peace of Islam perfectly, under the rule of Islam peacefully, all the way back to the Ottoman Empire. You know,
but they were killed a lot.
no. They
lot.
were killed when? After when? The
Let's go
massacres.
back to Muhammad. Muhammad killed a
Prophet
lot of
Muhammad,
Jews.
Allah alayhi salam, yeah.
You know?
Prophet Muhammad what?
He killed a lot of Jewish people. So it's an issue because there is hate towards Jews that should not be there.
Do you know why Prophet Muhammad, if he killed any Jews or anybody else, why he killed them? No.
I
You're
know
telling
that
me all Jews.
I know that
You're
if
telling me
you look,
all Jews
I know that if you look,
are righteous. They don't have issues. They don't cause problems.
we
If I go to Israel and cause a problem, or
we-
in a spot with a
we
gun or whatever, they're gonna do something to me.
We accept
Or if I come and
everybody.
try to oppose Israel's government or try to start a little bit of gang or mafia to try to suppress
But that's
the
going to
government.
happen everywhere.
Exactly. So that's
Anywhere
what
in
happened.
the world
That's
if you
what
go.
happened when Prophet Muhammad became a prophet. You know, there's people that wanted to topple the religion or destroy the religion and destroy him. So with that being said, he's not going to allow. Now you got to defend yourself, in the name of God. You know, so there was Jewish people that did get killed for
lot.
that sake. You
A
know,
lot. It was thousands. You know, that we still speak about.
yeah. Well, at the end
You
of
know
the
what
day,
the good
you
thing
have to
about-
you have to understand history and what happened behind it and why. You know,
So let's
just
leave-
like I don't agree with all Muslims for their actions of their doing what they're killing, you got to also understand that you got to be open-minded to understand that there's also Jews. Not all Jews are perfect. You
I
know,
think
just like not
I
all-
think the foundation of Islam is coming from a place that is evil, and then on top of that, when you have people like you, I don't think you are considered a good Muslim. I think you are considered a good man,
in whose
because
eyes?
because in Islam, no matter what you say, if you take every terrorist attack that there was, it is
Every terrorist attack, where?
a Muslim.
Where? In
All
Israel?
around the world.
In
No,
where?
all
Where?
around the world.
Those are extremes. There's still terrorists in every religion. You know, you're talking.
How would
where's,
you
where's
say-
the school
how would you
bombings?
say-
Where's the school bombings? Where's the other issues that happen? Why are we just looking at Islam? You know, some radical person in Islam that wants to do
Because
disguise
it's not
themselves.
one. You have
You know.
ISIS, for example.
They're
You
not
have
Muslims.
Hamas.
That's not Muslim. That's
So
not
how do
Muslim.
we
That
eliminate-
was created by people to make disguise Islam as a bad person.
So
So
how
they
do
don't
we
continue
eliminate them?
continue allowing Islam to continue growing.
Would
Right?
you
And
agree
Prophet-
that they
and
need
Pro-
to be eliminated?
in Islam, the foundation is not killing. What's wrong with you? No, it's not killing. You got
I know in the
history all-
Quran it doesn't say go kill.
Yeah, and,
right?
and Prophet
But in
Muhammad,
the extensions,
you said earlier that
but
Prophet
in the
Muhammad-
extensions that they came up with,
what extension?
beside the Quran, it says kill these people, kill Jews, kill
Where does it
Christians.
say that? Where?
Why do you think they're doing what they're doing? People
one
like
second.
ISIS, people like Hamas.
Where-
Why are they killing?
First in the Quran? Let's stay with Islam, because why is so all this 2.03 billion Muslims? You know, the second fastest and growing Muslims. They're all terrorists.
No.
They're all terrorists. Why?
No,
and,
but this
and they
is
don't
why
see
I
what's
say-
happening. Why are they still signing
this
on
is-
to Islam? Because they really know the truth. They're
But
not
this
being
is-
disguised by people and other or high-powered people to
But this is
to
what
make
I mean.
Islam look as a bad person.
This
or
is
bad
this is what
religion.
I mean, because I know a lot of Muslims, friends of mine, that are extremely nice people.
Okay.
And I asked them, how do you feel with people everywhere in the world have killed, have bombed, have chopped off people's heads? How do you feel about those people that claim that they are Muslim? What do you feel about that?
And
I said they're not real Muslims.
Okay.
So I feel
So are
I
Israel's
feel-
real Israel are real Jewish people by what they're doing in Gaza, killing innocent kids too? So we can go back and forth about this. the
Ben,
wrong
you
way.
keep
And
on.
there's-
You mentioned Hamas. Let me
Hamas,
ask you
yeah.
this: Who created Hamas?
It's about to. We're rolling into it.
Hamas obviously says that they are Muslim.
No, but who created Hamas?
Hold
Who
on,
trained
Arnold.
Hamas?
Let me finish my topic.
Sure.
So Israel is also bombing, whether it's bombing in Lebanon, whether it's bombing in Palestine. It's killing innocent people too. They're
I
dying.
agree.
Should we?
agree.
That's worse than butchering someone's head. A little baby that didn't even smell earth yet to smell their mouth. They don't understand. They're dead.
Do you know how many hostages?
should
None of them are soldiers.
Should I look at a Jewish person and look at all the Jews in the wrong way?
I have a question. Do you know?
You mentioned
do
about
you know?
friends. I also have a father figure. I swear to you, Ben. I have a father figure who's Jewish. His name is Jeff Fox. You know that? But because I see in Judaism through him, and I see that he loves Islam, and he loves and he respects me as a Muslim, and he respects everybody around him.
That's what I'm telling you.
I
In
respect
Israel, we
him.
have mosques.
He doesn't come and what is it?
In Israel, we have
Okay.
mosques.
But yet still,
in Israel, you have
but you still-
Muslims,
but-
and nobody
but
ever
still-
comes to
but-
them
but still
and
you
does
got
anything to them.
You still got the Israeli government still killing innocent people. Should
But
we just
again,
say
I'm trying
all
to
Jews are bad?
I'm
No.
trying to explain to you. When
So
there
you can't
is
say
war, there is
Islam-
casualties.
No, I'm just going back to Islam. You cannot say Islam is based on that and it killed a lot of Jews. Prophet Muhammad did not kill what's Israel right now with all the bombs that's happening in Gaza. The amount of Muslims that's dying right now.
How do you feel about October 7th?
October 7th and every bombing.
The majority of the
disagree
people are
about
innocent
anybody that's
people
dying,
that were
Ben.
taken out of their beds, out of their homes. You know, kids,
Regardless
babies.
of the matter, I disagree with anybody that's dying, whether he's
But
Jewish or
let's talk.
Muslim.
Let me
whether
ask you about
October 7
October
or whether it
7th.
was also Israel bombing. What's it called? It's not right. It's
When
not
you
right.
have-
Innocent people that are dying. Only the person should die. That the person that's holding a gun against another gun. That's all.
The truth is that what they did in October 7th is one of the most heinous of crimes that ever humanity has ever seen.
Because that's what they wanted to see.
And-
That's just a heinous time. There's
and
also heinous crimes
the-
that Jewish people has done too.
the
And I don't
problem is-
agree
the
upon
prob-
anything should happen. That should be a revenge for that. But I hate that the system continues fooling people and hurting people in the name of any religion. I
Gentlemen,
disagree about
can I stop you guys for 1 second, very quickly? Going back to October 7th, I want to get both of your input on this, especially with Ben as well. Can we agree that October 7th was somewhat planned?
100%
Can we agree that the IDF
didn't show up. The IDF didn't show up. They didn't do anything about it. When people were calling in and saying, "Hey, there's terrorists over here," nobody came to rescue them. Yes,
But you don't think
100%
Mossad
it's a
was
setup.
You don't think Mossad was
100%.
aware of
Set
it?
up, set up.
100%.
Let me-
And some of the weapons that Hamas had were literally sold to Hamas by Israel.
There you go.
Okay? I'm not here to bullshit.
There's no need to
I'm not
bullshit.
here
and
to
I'm here
bullshit. I'll
add
tell
to
you the
Maybe
truth.
you don't know all this too. I
But-
wanna add,
but
maybe
one
you do
thing-
know. Before Hamas was there was the PLO. You know who they
Mm-hmm.
are. Underneath Yasser Arafat.
Yasser Arafat, yes.
All right? Yasser Arafat, the PLO,
Was a very evil guy.
bombing and fighting for the land that they're claiming that is their land. And Israel is taking advantage of this and blows it up more and takes more land. So Yasser Arafat said, you know what? This ain't working for us. You know what? Every time they bomb us, we're not going to attack. Because every time we attack back, they're going to use this as leverage to take more land from us. So what did Yasser Arafat do? He started taking them to the United Nations courts. Israel, the
You know how many
government-
times we met with Yasser Arafat
Hold on, but that's
to
the
come
truth.
to an agreement?
But that's
Do you know that
whether
about
they came
8
to an
years
agreement or not?
You
I
know
just
that
wanna
8 years ago we
agree
gave
with you
land
on-
back to
we don't want to go, but at the end of the day, that's what was going on. And then what did Israel, a retired general, do? He said, these guys figured it out. They're smart, but we got to go about it in a different way. This is where what? Hamas was created.
Are you leaving LA for Texas? Don't make the mistake of getting underinsured just to save a few bucks. Call Martin Melkonian with State Farm Insurance. He'll make sure your home, auto, and your business is fully protected. No gaps, no surprises. Martin takes his time to understand your needs to build the right policy for you. No shortcuts, just honest advice and real protection. Call him today, 281-712-2788. 281-712-2788. Martin Melkonian, State Farm Insurance. Are you looking for a place to socialize, network, while having a cigar and a drink at the same time? Well, the Glen Arden is the place for you. If you're interested in becoming a member with the Glen Arden Club, contact the WiseNuts. We'll connect you to the boys at the Glen Arden, and you could become a member here. Smoke with the WiseNuts, smoke with a great network, and build your network.
You know, everything
You
that
know,
happened right now
so-
in Palestine.
So that's why I tell
Everything
you,
that happened
it's
in
sad
Palestine
that
right
anybody that's dying, whether it's October
course.
7 or before that, it's sad what the governments are playing it out to be. You know,
The government
and
will
blowing it
always
up to be.
orchestrate things.
What is it?
The government will orchestrate things. They will orchestrate everything. You are nobody, I'm a nobody, they are nobody. They orchestrate everything that is happening in the world.
100%.
We're puppets.
Yeah, yeah.
You believe that you're here because it was your own idea. It was their idea. They sent you here. You got on their plane. You got in their car. You're walking around with their phone. They know exactly what you're talking about. If you say the name King Azoulay in your house, I will show up on your feed. They are listening. We know that. But for the people at home, if they don't know that, they should know that.
Yeah, your phones are
I'm just
being
saying, at
listened
some
to.
point
Yes,
in
of
time,
course.
you have to take all of these people that are radical, extremists, whatever you want to call them. I call them terrorists. The United Arab Emirates, everybody together has to come together and say it's the end of these people. Remove these terrorists, fight them, get rid of them,
Whoever
so we could
they are,
all be
whether
at
they're
peace.
Muslim, whether they're Christians, whether they're whatever, in the
But
name of that, and clarify it. Yes,
anybody that is a terrorist, I say we need to eliminate them, because people should not live in fear. That's what I'm saying. Now, unfortunately for you, every single terrorist that there was a Muslim.
You keep saying it was a Muslim. In what way?
I'm just letting you know. They say I'm a
to,
Muslim.
That goes back against the Israel,
And that's why I say it's time for
that.
Muslims that are the good Muslims like you to fight it back.
Fight who back?
The ones that are going crazy. The ones
Everybody's
that are
going
chopping
crazy.
off
Everybody
heads.
that is not
The ones that
believing in their
are
religion
coming
the
and
right way.
kidnapping Jewish people out of their own home, out of their bed, pulling out kids, suffocating kids with their hands, putting them into
That's
ovens
happening in
and killing
Israel,
them.
you're saying.
This happened in Israel,
This is not
yes.
happening in Lebanon. This is not happening in Dubai. This is happening with a,
But
with
in
a government
Syria,
and a
you have
government
them.
going at it.
But in Syria, you have them chopping off heads of Christians, and also in Lebanon, many times it happened. If you're a
Man,
Christian,
but it's vice
that's why my
versa.
Lebanese friends
It's
are here.
vice versa.
Listen, I have a business partner. He's Lebanese, and I have his kids came here, and his whole family came here just because of that, because they are Christian and they don't want to be in danger just because they believe Jesus Christ. They believe Yeshua. They don't want to be in danger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Muslims are all over the world.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's about that time that you
Muslims
guys
are
take
all over.
responsibility and say, these are the bad people. We're going after them.
Responsibility
Because the end
for
of
who?
the
For
day-
Israel, that's what's happening in Israel?
No. All around the world.
What's
Anywhere
that?
that there's
Mankind
a
is all
terrorist,
over.
not just against Jews.
But
I'm
you can't-
talking
you
about
can't- you
against
can't-
also
you can't
Christians.
you cannot just label terrorists as Muslims. You got to label terrorists has every kind of religion.
But
and
they
every
don't say
extremist.
anything else except
Because they don't
I'm
want you
Muslim.
to see it. They want to keep disguising Islam for that. This is not true.
Right now, Hamas is holding still 58 hostages. All of them are
Ben,
innocent
how many
people.
Israel's holding?
Hold
Come
on. No
stop.
hostages, terrorists.
Look.
Terrorists. And you know what's
No,
crazy?
there's
Every
some-
time
there's
they
some
give us
because-
one.
No.
Wait,
Why
time
they bombing
Wait, I'll tell
schools
you.
with people there? Because
But can
they
I
keep
tell you-
saying they're gonna grow up to be same thing.
Can I tell
there's
you
people
my
that-
part?
There's men in jails over there, women in
Can I
jails
tell
over there
you-
just because they oppose Israel or don't want them to do that.
This
There's
has never
raping.
happened.
It is. It's not happening because
You're
they don't want to
talking
show
some-
you it. They don't
you're
want to
talking
show
to
you
somebody who has been working with this for a very long time. I worked in counterterrorism for over a decade. I'm telling you. We
for
never
that
stopped
system,
anybody.
If
We
you
never
have,
stopped anybody.
If you have, it's for the system, so they want you to see whatever you want to see.
No, but anytime that I had to go get somebody, it was somebody who killed at least 3-4 people.
Okay, let's say that's true, but that's probably
least.
just your terror. There's so many innocent Palestinian people in the
Yes.
jails,
Yeah.
in the jails
No,
of
not in
Israel.
jail.
Well,
No.
yes, 100%. 100%
Look.
because they think they're gonna grow up, or their father is there, or they went to a mosque that it's labeled as a Hamas mosque, and and they're just going in there to pray. There's a lot of things happening,
if
man.
a mosque
And
is
then-
labeled as Hamas mosque, we obviously need to go in and make sure that our people are going to be okay, because these people live in Israel. And that's why there's terrorist attack in Israel weekly. And
and
unfortunately,
how many terrorist attacks is happening in Palestine too?
unfortunately, the terrorists believe
How many with the power and the technology
terrorists
that Israel
believe
has?
that this life.
You don't think
I'm not saying that Israel. Listen, and I've said this before on the podcast. Israel knows exactly who's a terrorist. Israel could stop it, but Israel keeps it to keep everybody suppressed. Everybody suppressed. Nobody makes money in Israel except the top people. Everybody's poor. Everybody. You go to Israel, all the Israelis are poor.
I was about to
They
tell
all
you.
are dying to come to the US, to the American dream.
Yeah.
They're dying to. Why? Because they keep them suppressed.
And
You
they
have to
don't-
go to the military at 18, all the way to 21. Why? Because you have to protect your country in case there's
And
a
they
terrorist
silence
attack.
them too.
And
so
then they
don't
tell
see,
us you have
Yeah.
to, or else you go to jail.
See,
You
they
have to go
silence
to
them.
jail.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna show up, you're going to jail. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, they'll come grab you.
It's not terrorists. That's terrorists
And then,
right there.
but this is an organization that orchestrates.
It's ruling the world. It's overpowering the world.
This is-
It's
Listen,
through-
Jews
through
are Jews run the world. Let me tell you, Jews run the world. But
In
the
what
Jews
aspect?
that
In
run
what aspect? In what
but the
aspect?
Jews that
In
run
what
the
aspect?
world,
They're not running me. What
but
aspect
the
they
Jews,
run the world?
that's what I'm telling you.
They're in the financial system very well. Of course, they're in the financial system. They're in the bankings. They're doing very well for
religion.
themselves.
Listen, religion,
They don't rule the world in religion.
financing.
They're the fastest deterring religion. There's only how many? 13
million.
No, 15.8 million Jews.
There's
And
13
half of them
that they know about, and
half
they're
of them live in
assuming
America, and the
they're
other
assuming that there is more. Right now, they're talking about a little bit over
So
13 million,
there's-
but they're assuming that there's probably
there's
15.
13, but
'cause
15.
other
There's 13,
people
it's
don't.
still a low population.
It's
a
very
low population
small.
that's invested in a lot of financial. Of course, financial. When you rule a financial, people want to work, want to make money, borrow money. Yeah, of course you have power over the person. So
The reason I say Jews run the world is because the plane that you took, the phone you're holding,
it's not everything.
the cameras, the computer,
in the
they-
NATO countries, but you go to a Muslim countries, still, the airplanes are Muslim airplanes, and no.
you wouldn't believe how the Jews are listening in to every single flight that is moving from an Arab country.
So Ben,
And
can
they're
I
watching this
stop you guys for a
conversation,
second?
too.
Sorry, guys. Let me stop you guys for a second. Ben, let me ask you this. You just mentioned a bunch of things as far as Jews are running the world, Jews are responsible for this, Jews are responsible for that. So in essence, when you look at the big picture, are Jews the real terrorists?
No,
You see?
Who organized and
See?
created Hamas?
no,
You see-
because they are very creative. The Jews are very
See,
creative.
if you're
So
saying
who-
they
but
run the
who-
world,
but
Jews
who-
are very creative, and I'll tell you
why.
why.
They stopping it? If
And
they
I'll-
run the world, why didn't they stop this
Because-
terrorist that you're saying it's time for Muslims? So then really Islam is ruling the world, and you're contradicting yourself.
No, I'll tell you exactly why. I have a great answer for that. That's a great question. I love that. You have to understand that when Jews do something, they don't do it in a way where they will send someone to die. They will not chop off anybody's head. They will not take down a plane into, the Twin Towers. Those
pay 'em.
things,
They
those,
pay 'em.
those things,
Yeah, they pay them to
those
do the
things
dirty
will not
work.
happen by
They pay them
Jews.
to do the dirty work,
But
which
the
is
Jews-
okay. Still, they're part of it. You're still
Jews run
orchestrated
the
it.
financial aspect of the world, and because money is everything, then Jews run the world. And then the reason is because everything that is created, especially right now, if you look into Google, right, CEO of Facebook, Meta, these are Jews. But do they practice Judaism? No. They were just born Jews. And because they are born Jews, they're also born with a very high IQ. And they're very easy to do certain things that other people can't recognize.
I disagree with that.
The average
I
the
totally
average
disagree
Jew
about it.
has 160 IQ. And if he's a smart Jew, he has close
So
to the
Muslims don't
180.
have IQs. What are you saying? Where are you getting this
the IQ
grammar
I'm-
from? It's not true. If you're
You know-
born a Jew, you're
you know what?
you're the smartest
Jor-
person.
Jor-
or you're,
I watched, where
know.
I got it from? Jordan Peterson. And then
and
I
if
went and I
they're
looked
that
it up.
smart, why are they deterring?
And then I went and looked it up.
Why are they deterring? Then if they're that smart, why don't they use it in a better way?
Because everybody
What-
looks at the Jews.
Huh?
We could have
If they're the smartest
We
people,
could have
why,
just
why are
done-
they deterring?
we have-
I don't get it.
we have one button. We could have taken out Palestine, but
And
we
why
didn't.
they only have claiming one country when there's Muslims? There's many countries that are ruled by Muslims.
Right, because
So
we
why?
we have one country and that's
No,
all we
they're
want.
not. They're
That's all we want
they're not
because
the
it's the
spec-
only country that was given to somebody by God, and it was to the Jews. He pulled us out of Egypt and said, "Go to Israel."
okay.
In what?
and-
Hold on. When did he pull you out of Egypt and tell you to go to Israel?
4,000 years ago.
So that land was promised to you guys 4,000 years ago.
Yes,
So why is it that the state of Israel was created in 1948?
because we got kicked out
By who?
many times
By who?
By who?
by the Romans.
That's not
Just
true.
the
got kicked
Romans?
out-
No, hold on,
No,
that's-
by Muslims, by Romans. What do you
No,
mean?
no.
So what
but-
about the 109 other countries that the Jews were kicked out of?
They were kicked out of many countries, of course, because we're a
No, because they
we're-
always want
we're a
to topple
religion.
the government. That's
We're-
where Prophet Muhammad comes in the killing, and that's where
They say
They-
the
they-
same thing about
No,
they say
if you're
the
gonna
same thing
topple-
about
if
Hitler.
I'm
that
gonna
they-
come
we're
in
in
and
we're in
instigate
Germany
something-
and doing this.
if I come and want to instigate in your house and break your family, break you between, you're gonna do everything you can to kill me, destroy me, beat me up, whatever it takes. Same thing. You cannot mess with a religion, try to topple a religion, because once you topple a religion, you topple mankind. So with that being said, that's why Islam
Do you
is
know how
growing.
many Muslims are here in the U.S. speaking to Christians and other religions about becoming Muslim? But if you do the same thing, if you're a Christian, you go right now to, for example, to Saudi Arabia, and you tell these guys who are Muslim, become a Christian, your head will get chopped off.
What is it?
You are not allowed. You are not allowed to come and preach Jesus Christ in a Muslim country. They will kill you because you are trying to pull people out of Islam.
Yeah, of
there
course, you're
is
not supposed to pull someone out of their religion. Why are you
Thank you.
pulling them out of
And
religion?
that's why I'm saying
Why are you
here.
trying to topple a religion?
So
Why are you
here-
going against God? It's a religion of God. Who are you to try to topple it? If he
Thank
wants
you
to
very
choose to
much,
come
but
out
that's
of
what
it,
Muslims do in the U.S. and every
What do
other
the Muslims
country.
do?
Ben,
in
can
the
I ask you a
US.
question? How are Christians treated in Israel?
Very well.
Have you seen those videos of Christian people in Israel walking around being spit on by Jews?
So
he just wants to see
I-
whatever he wants to see.
you said there's an extremist. There's the extremists, the ones that are completely out of their mind.
Yeah.
1 in a million Jews is also an extremist. I'm not going to tell you that there isn't. But if
Yeah.
you take the Jews, you will never find a Jew that went and
But
chopped off anybody's
one
head.
out of 15 million and 1 out of 2 billion it becomes a lot too. So at the end of the day,
No, you got Hamas had about 50,000 soldiers.
What is it?
Hamas had about 50,000 soldiers.
And
Soldiers, terrorists.
But what did Israel do to Gaza?
what did Gaza
Gaza
do?
is in ruins
exactly.
now. Can you justify that?
Right now, what they have done there is a mess.
Who?
Of course.
Who done
What Israel have done is a
Yeah,
mess.
yeah.
And now we took
In the
another
name of the Hamas?
70,000
If they have
troops.
all this technology, why didn't they kill?
Because-
Israel
because
has
we
so
have
much technology
hostages
they
there.
can shoot a bullet from
Yes.
back
Yes.
end of Israel, get it
Now
to a
we
window
have
and kill it.
mosquitoes. Now we
So-
have mosquitoes
Yeah, so
that
why
are
would
this
you go
small
bomb?
that will
why-
fly next to you and it will
150%.
explode
so
your
why
head.
aren't you using this technology the right way? And all this beautiful army that they
But
say
you
they
asked
have.
why we didn't
why they
buy
couldn't
Hamas?
wipe out Hamas? 50,000 soldiers.
because
Why are they
Ben,
shake
Ben,
them to the
remember we
back?
brought up
Because
remember
of
we
the
brought
fact-
up the bus
Because they
analogy to
want them
you.
to continue. They want to continue taking the lands. They want to continue destroying Islam and using the name of that
but
to
if you-
destroy Islam.
But
They
me ask
destroy
you-
Islam.
Ali, very
No.
quickly, Ben, remember we brought up the bus
You know.
analogy with you on our last show? You didn't really answer that question. The bus analogy was, if there's a school bus full of children, men, women, and children, innocent men, women, and a terrorist happens to infiltrate that school bus, do you blow up the school bus? Yes or no?
No.
So why you blow up a
So
house?
then why
you
bro
blow
Gaza?
up yeah.
No, but
Why
that's
blow
what I'm
up the whole
telling you.
Gaza?
We asked them to get our people back. They don't want to give us any of the hostages. So we have to look for the hostages. And the problem is that they're in tunnels like rats. They don't want to come up and fight like real men.
Yeah.
They're hiding and they took our hostages under.
Today's show is sponsored by the law offices of Arman Grigorian. If you're injured in a car accident and need proper guidance and representation, reach out to the law offices of Arman Grigorian, 1-818-404-0333. Are you leaving LA for Texas? Don't make the mistake of getting underinsured just to save a few bucks. Call Martin Melkonian with State Farm Insurance. He'll make sure your home, auto, and your business is fully protected. No gaps, no surprises. Martin takes his time to understand your needs to build the right policy for you. No shortcuts, just honest advice and real protection. Call him today, 281-712-2788, 281-712-2788. Martin Melkonian, State Farm Insurance.
You know, I've been watching some of the hostages that came back. They kept them under for 500 days, 450 days. They haven't seen the sun.
Okay.
A family,
Make tunnels
the
too to
Bibas
come fight them
family.
underneath the tunnels. Make a tunnel
There's-
from Israel underneath the tunnel and fight them underneath the tunnel. What's
yeah,
the problem?
but we've also done that before. But the problem is that they have bombs also on there, and they're going to completely drop all of the
Still doesn't
tunnels
give you-
on us,
it
and
still
they've done
doesn't
that
give you a
before.
reason to bomb the whole freaking strip and continue killing people like this.
What
It
we
doesn't give
do
you a
in
reason.
order for us to do it the right
Yeah.
way, what we did is we kept telling people, you need to get out of your homes because we need to find Hamas. We need to find.
I can kick you out of your home just by that. No, you can't kick anybody out of the
when
home.
you-
It's not going to happen. I'm
but,
not going to leave
but
my
you're
home.
saying that we bombed
You're
innocent,
saying that,
innocent
but-
people. So when we bombed innocent people, it's because we told them move out of the home. We have to take it down because we need to see what's under.
Wait for the
We
person to
have
come out of
special
the home.
cameras.
Wait for the person to come out of the home and put your sniper guy and kill him. If that's the case, why you need to wait? He's not going to stay in there too long. He's going to come out.
No, the whole point was to completely clean out everything so
Clean
we
out
could
what?
see we could see the tunnels. What do you want to do? When
Well,
you
they
have
pretty
people-
well, they
when you
pretty
have
much cleaned out.
250
Well, they pretty much cleaned
Now
out
what?
everything.
They
They're,
cleaned
you
out
can't
everything.
even
All of
access those.
Gaza.
Well, you can't even access those tunnels anymore.
Well, right now, if you notice, they put in a bunch of bulldozers to move
And
all
you
the
don't
debris.
think most of those hostages that are still left there are dead, are probably dead or not probably, are dead because of the bombings that Israel is doing? It's all bullshit.
They are
man.
very deep in the ground, about 140 meters.
Why are they dead?
But some of them have died, and the ones that we
Because they really
received.
don't give a fuck about
The one
them.
that we
they don't
received-
really give a fuck about them. Honestly,
we
God,
didn't-
they don't give a fuck
If
about
we
them.
didn't, if we didn't,
there's a way of negotiating.
if we
Okay, give
didn't,
them-
we
if
would
they
have bombed
they
all of
took,
Gaza.
They took 70 out. There's,
Do you
how many-
think? Do
you
you
know how
think
many
we don't have a
hostages-
bomb to completely take out
you know how
Gaza?
many- there's also innocent people in jails. I'm not saying there's people that shouldn't be in jails, but there's certain people that are in jail. They are innocent. You cannot come tell me they're all
They're all
terrorists. No, they're not all
And
terrorists.
every time,
and how do you this guy's terrorist?
and every
over a guy
time
that wants to
Hamas
tell you
gave
that
us-
this guy is just he labeled
listen,
them.
the
He
trade we
labeled
just
them.
did was they gave us.
They're
hold on.
labeled as terrorists because of their religion,
One
just
second.
like we're labeled
We
right
gave
now.
them-
If,
these
as
are all people
Muslims
that kill people.
are terrorists. That's
These
why
are all
as-
people that kill people. We have
not
a special.
everybody that's in there that's killed people. No,
100%.
Ben. No, I disagree with you 100%.
You haven't
No,
been there.
there's
I'm telling
videos of it. No, 150%.
What are you gonna believe? Videos?
Look, why am I gonna believe you?
Because I was there.
No, you were there. They showed you whatever they want to show you too.
No, I'm
You're not
telling
on top of the world over there. No, they're
I'm
going to show you
telling you
whatever
that
you
we
need
just-
to do.
We just
Because
gave
if they
back-
show you the truth, they're not going to continue motivating you. They're not going to show you what you
we
really need
just
to
gave
know.
back for a few people that they gave us, a few hostages. We gave them back 1,000 men.
Can I stop
Each
it for a
man-
second?
each man,
Wasn't Israel
they
just
listed-
formed? Wasn't Israel just formed? Just 70 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever it is, it hasn't been there that long recently.
Right.
So how did they form it? Just how you doing? Come here. I want my land back. That Prophet Muhammad took from us a long time ago. Give it to us. No, they came in and started bombing and killing in the name of it. They just came in just like that. No, come
They
on.
didn't have any weapons.
Well, from my understanding, the
Came
Palestinians,
in
first
from
landed.
gentlemen,
They-
from my understanding, if
They
his,
put them there with weapons and
Ali,
everything.
very
They put
quickly.
them there. They told them
I'm
go over
explaining
there.
to you
one
that
second, guys, one
innocent
second.
people dying anywhere. I just told you that it should stop.
Okay, but don't focus on
100%.
Islam.
Gentlemen,
is
one
bad.
second.
not
Can I
for-
stop you
that's
guys for a second, gentlemen? One second. If history serves, if history is correct, I believe that the Palestinian people allowed Israeli Jewish people to live amongst them
As
peacefully.
long as they don't cause problem
As
or
long as they didn't cause
topple the
problems.
religion, 150%.
This is prior to
Who
the
owned the
state of
land?
Israel being
Until
founded.
you try
Wait,
to
who
topple
owned
the
the land at
Islam
the time?
and try to topple. What do you mean who owned the land?
Who owned the land at the time?
Ale, you want to get back to
Before we-
history. And,
No,
and
I mean,
history
he's
is written by
talking
many
about
people.
period.
Prior to 1948, there was
Yeah.
no Israel.
There
Okay,
was no
who
Israel.
owned it? Not Palestinians. Who owned it?
Who owned it? You tell me who owned
No,
it.
you tell me.
It was Palestine. It was the state of Palestine.
But who owned it?
Go ahead, get to your point.
Get to your point.
It was under the British. They gave him to us. And by the way, we gave them the name British.
What do you mean? Palestine was not
because
Palestine
at the
by,
time they were
by the
English.
Britain. Yeah, man. That's not
At
true.
the time they were English. They were not British. But
so there was English people living in Palestine and there was no
no, it
Palestinian
was
people.
owned. It was owned.
Owned
by
what? The whole land was owned by the British?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Gentlemen, let me give you guys another example of how I agree with
For
you.
example, do you know what
Let me-
British
let me-
mean?
let me bring
Do you
this
know
up
what
real
British
quick, Ali.
mean? Because
How did Islam?
by the way, you know
how
what
did Islam
British mean? Let me
expand
tell you.
to countries that
tell
are
you.
Muslim countries.
Let me-
No, you have
But
to go
one
back
second,
history the right way.
I want to tell them for this is actually something that people don't know at home. So British, before they were called English, Brit in Hebrew is a contract. Ish means men. Because they created the contract with us, we call them the British. And they went from being English to British. They gave us they allowed us to
All-
come into the land.
All the Middle East was
You're gonna have to look
descended-
deep for that one.
Was descended by Ishmael and Prophet Ibrahim.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's how Prophet Muhammad expanded Islam into Iran, into Africa. And
But-
and Israel was
But
where
forget-
Palestine was because they were
But
One second, let me
forget-
explain you this for a second so you can understand. Forget the British right
Forget-
now. You wanna go
forget
back to
all
the
of history.
You want to get because
I
history
wanna
can
go-
be written.
I wanna be back
So he
here.
took over Israel
Mm-hmm.
because they were orchestrating to topple the religion. So he came and we set war on him and he won and took over Israel and became an Arabic land and a Muslim land. That's the real reality of that. Then they come back in the 50s and 60s and claim that I want my land. And who put them there?
It was after the Holocaust.
The British. And who? And the
It was
English.
after the Holocaust. By the way, do you know what Holocaust means? Like,
Go
there's a lot of things that people don't know. For example, Holocaust, if you look up the word Holocaust, is pretty much sacrificing for God.
Okay.
And for some reason, the Jews here,
Here we're in
named-
America.
in the US,
Yeah.
named it the Holocaust. For some reason, which I still don't know why.
So why are we
But-
just gonna?
but-
I already knew
but
what
they-
Holocaust,
they-
but I wanted to hear from you.
No, but it means sacrifice of humans to God.
Okay. There's
Why
always
would
been
they?
Holocausts.
Listen, this is I'm talking about my Jews. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know why they named it as a sacrifice. What happened to us, back with Hitler, but this is what they named it, which is the Holocaust, which is actually kind of fucked up.
So do you believe that the Armenian Holocaust happened in 1915?
Well, it happened, but again, I'm saying it shouldn't be called the Holocaust.
Okay, the Armenian
So why should-
genocide in
Yeah,
1915.
it should be called a genocide.
Okay, so in
Okay.
so in
You know what I mean?
1915, the
But for
1.5 million Armenians that were killed by the Ottoman Empire in 1915. Do you believe that happened?
of course.
So why is it that the state of Israel has not recognized one of the first genocides in the 19th century as relevant?
How can you say that?
Israel has not recognized the Armenian genocide.
Israel, every Israeli that I know
No,
sees
the state of
Armenians-
Israel has not recognized the Armenian genocide. Ukraine has not recognized the Armenian genocide. Turkey, Azerbaijan have not recognized it. Pakistan has not recognized it. And you know what's
There's
funny?
also a
That-
video. Let me
you know,
add to that.
I've
There's a
actually
video
never
that you
looked
posted.
into-
Add to that because I
but-
want to answer for
but
that.
I
because
never-
You said Muslims also did the Holocaust on one video that I disagree with you, and you don't know
No.
the history of it.
No, I never
That you
said.
look at you said that the Muslims, look at the Muslims, they killed you guys, and you've pointed it out to them, that look at what they did to you guys. And that's when he brought up the Holocaust and that you guys don't claim it, but you said look at what happened to you guys in Turks. And during the Turks Empire too, how many years did the Ottoman Empire rule, and who was living there? The Jews, under the safety of Islam. Why we don't talk about this history the right way? Why? And
but,
then when
look right
let me
now,
just correct
but
you,
this is
because,
where I'm
listen,
saying.
I'm older
This is what
than
I'm
you, and
saying,
I've read
that
a little
there's-
bit. If you read a book, I've read many books as well. You gotta,
This is what I'm saying,
respect
though.
that for a second.
I
So the
respect it.
Ottoman
That's what I'm
Empire,
telling you, that the
what
very
happened-
big
let me
part-
just point this because I know you don't know because you already expressed it. What happened in the Ottoman Empire? Why did this all Holocaust happen? Is because people, extremists. We get back to the extremists,
course.
terrorists
Yes.
in the name of Islam. There was 3 guys,
Yes.
students that wanted to topple the Ottoman Empire, and they said, "All right," and they started a little group, a little mafia, and they started with it, and they
Did
said
they
the
say
only
they were
way we can
Turks?
do this is we got to kill the minority, which are the Jews and the Armenians and there was 2 other cultures there, 2 other sectors.
And
also
were
in
they
the-
It was
Christians?
the Assyrians and the Greeks.
Assyrians?
Were
Yes.
they Christians?
So at the end,
Yes.
at the end,
Wait, no. Were
But
the
what-
ones that did the killing?
But
were
you
they
mentioned
Christian?
them as Muslims, terrorists. So you
No.
went and said,
But
look
this
at the
is what I'm
Islam,
telling
they
you.
did.
But this is what
showing
I'm
you that
explaining to you, that
Islam,
if
as
you go
long
today-
as a Jewish person respects Islam, we're not going to cause a problem. But if you're going to go into our homes and manipulate and try to topple and
So
and
nobody
put these
went
certain
into
things-
nobody went into anybody's home. You guys, the Muslims that claim that they are Muslims, you're saying they're not Muslim. So let's say they're not Muslim, but
I just
Hamas,
told you what happened. It's a
but
true
Hamas
story. This is
went
the
in-
history. What rights? You have
Yes,
to look at
but
the right
I-
history.
I-
It was
but
3
I
guys.
asked- but
They
I asked
toppled the
you-
Ottoman Empire, so they went and did 1, 2, 3.
But were they Christians? No, they claim to be Muslims. Right?
Everybody can disguise them. Well, of course, because the Ottoman Empire
You know-
are Muslims, so they want to claim something so they can come up. They can't claim Christian; they'll get destroyed easier. So they have to disguise themselves. That's why I keep telling you it's a disguise. Whoever claims a terrorist in a disguise, that doesn't mean that Islam
So-
is this.
So I
You know,
believe.
nothing
so I
more,
believe.
nothing less. When
So I
Prophet,
believe that the Muslims should
do
come
you know where
together.
Prophet Muhammad was born?
When?
When and where?
No.
Okay. He was born in Mecca.
Right.
He was in Mecca, and God came and started speaking to him and chose
In the
him to-
mountain.
in the mountain, and then he started.
It was
he
Gabriel
started-
and Daniel.
started giving him
The angels.
and because he used to meditate a lot, and he didn't like what's happening when he was growing up. What was going on to the people, especially to the woman, to the poor, and he used
Do you
to
know
go
that 15 years before that he was practicing Judaism?
because
And he learned
no,
Judaism.
No, I'll tell you where he practiced it, where we adopted. We have very, very well similarities from circumcising to dietary to halal to kosher.
Yes.
Very similar because Prophet Muhammad adopted that for certain reasons as well, because at the time when Prophet Muhammad was born in Mecca, and he was growing up, he grew up without a father. His father had died, and then later on, his mother had died when he was 6 years old. Anyways, he saw growing up what's going on around all the idols and the people that believe in a certain religion not practicing it the right way and hurting people. So Jibril descended on him, and because he used to meditate, so God chose him to tell the people what is really, chose him to be the root of Islam, to continue preaching and let people know, bring people out. This is these idols, go break them. Whoever is going to continue or contaminate this needs to stop.
Right.
If
To
they don't
become
want
a
to
Muslim,
die,
you have to believe in one
yeah,
God
because
and
God
believe
doesn't
that
want this to
Muhammad was
continue.
a prophet.
Just like should we call
Right.
should we call Moses a terrorist? Stop. He drowned everybody. What is
With the staff.
what is
Yeah.
that? He drowned
And
everybody.
the
Should we
Red
call
Sea.
Moses a terrorist?
Well, actually,
No, I'm just letting you know.
this is God's movements,
Same thing. That's
But
Prophet Muhammad's God's plans too. So
the beauty about Christianity and the beauty about Judaism, that the prophets actually showed their prophecy. Unfortunately,
mankind.
For Muhammad,
Prophet Muhammad,
he flew the Prophet Muhammad.
You have to
I
respect for me.
I respect
because I'm sitting in front of you. But,
and I respect, and because
I love,
but
I
this
love
is,
Prophet Moses, and I will not talk.
But this is
I
a
won't say
debate,
Moses because
correct? This
I'm
is
lowering them.
But this is a debate.
I know, but we still got to respect
But-
each other's religion. I would not say Moses just as a Moses, just you and I. He's a prophet.
Prophet.
Just like
Prophet
Moses
Muhammad.
and Prophet Jesus.
I'll give you
if you
Prophet
don't mind.
Muhammad.
Yes.
Okay, he flew a white donkey at night, and nobody said that they've ever saw him.
Okay.
Now, 15
donkey?
years, a donkey.
Okay, go
Right?
ahead. These are stories that you heard. These are stories. These are not in the Quran. These are not like stories that are in
So
Christianity.
they're nowhere.
What is it?
They're nowhere.
Who's no one? The stories?
No, there's nowhere the story where he flew a white donkey.
We're stories. We're not following stories. We're following religions because stories are made up by many people. Let me tell you an example that you would really love. A man had a dream. And you know who was in his dream? Satan. Satan looks so freaking beautiful, so handsome. He tells him, "What the hell? You look so nice." What they do? He goes, "Yeah." And what are you trying? They make you look. They make you look. I know you as that you have horns. That you're evil. That you're ugly. You know what Satan responds? The brush in a man's hand can paint many things. So these stories are made by men. Period. We cannot bring history upon men. We got to bring up history upon religion, not upon men, you and I, whatever we want to think of today and just blow it up and let's make people, if they don't change, we're going to kill them or we disguise them. No, or we're not going to give them the right benefits.
You won't see any
right...
Jew running around killing anybody just because they're not becoming Jews. As a matter of fact, we don't ask anybody to become a Jew. If they want to become a Jew, it takes a few years.
We don't ask anybody because we respect it. If
in Islam, do you know how you become a Muslim?
Listen, if we wanted to, if Prophet Muhammad,
if I wanted to become a Muslim, what do I have to say?
If Prophet Muhammad wanted to wipe out Judaism, he could have wiped it all out. He
wiped out a lot.
Actually, if he wanted,
there was a family
he wiped out people. No, don't get to families. Those are against stories. Those are not in the Quran. Those are stories, and there's stories about this. There's stories. We don't want to argue stories. We want to argue facts of what you and I believe. We respect Moses, Prophet Moses. We respect Prophet Jesus. We respect Prophet Abraham. It goes back to also who it goes? Abraham and his two wives, Sarah, and who's and Hajar. The Jews agree with and go with Isaac, right? In Islam, our background comes from who? Ishmael. He came from our ancestors are from.
Sarah couldn't have a child. So
Sarah couldn't have a child. Yeah, Sarah couldn't have a child, and he married a second wife, and
she was the maid.
Whatever. Well, he married her.
He married her,
and under God the right way, and he had a beautiful child for 13 years. Then God blessed Sarah with Isaac, and then history starts going, and then but really we respect who you gotta respect the religions.
By the way, Ali, I was checking on ChatGPT. It says Prophet Muhammad rode what's called a burak.
What is it?
Burak. You know what
His
a burak
what?
is?
What is it?
His what?
Burak, B-U-R-A-Q.
No, but what did you say? Prophet
It says
Muhammad what?
Prophet Muhammad did ride on what's called a burak.
I did not disagree. This is Google. This is not the Quran.
No, this is according to ChatGPT. It says
what do I need from ChatGPT?
burak is a miraculous creature that resembles. It looks like a donkey with wings.
But what are we trying to get to out of that
No,
story?
I'm just verifying what he was saying.
I didn't disagree or agree. It's stories. I didn't disagree or disagree. I'm not trying to say what. I'm just elaborating.
Look, forget about all the religion. What I want to say, I want you to understand one thing from me.
What's that got to do with anything?
I want you to understand one thing from me.
We just want to talk about the facts,
Ali,
about religions.
Ali, can I tell you one thing?
Of course, brother.
If you think that I am against Muslims,
no, I think
then
you
you're
just
wrong.
have a bad view about Muslims.
No,
needs to
no,
God
God forbid, because I have a lot of Muslim friends.
I heard on the podcast that really irritated me a lot.
But
on your last podcast with the wise guys,
Yes.
that you said about Prophet Muhammad, that the foundation of Islam.
The foundation because of the things that happened. At what age was
At the end of the
Aisha?
day, people have to know
What age was Aisha when he married her?
Yeah, I want to correct you on this.
You tell me.
No, you already know, or supposedly know. You said 12.
No, 6.
6 also? You made it even worse.
No, she was 6 when they got together. If I'm not mistaken, I think he married her by the time she was 9. Can you check with ChatGPT?
Like, fuck Jack.
Aisha.
GTPA. What the fuck you guys doing ChatGPT?
Wait,
Go look at the Quran.
how old was
I just
Aisha
told
when
you
he
the
married
story
her?
about the man. Come on, this is getting stupid, bro. Where's this going with? What are you talking about?
No,
Prophet
but you
Muhammad,
asked
let
me.
me tell you. Here, I'm a Muslim. You need to
Yes.
understand from Muslim, not GTP. That was created by man. It wasn't created by God that came and made this as a spirit. To stop.
Correct.
You just said you can tap into God anywhere in the world. So
Yes.
here's God. I'm trying.
And I'm
to talk
telling
to
you that I love going to
Aisha-
Dubai and I enjoy my time
Aisha,
with
no, let me correct.
Muslims.
You just said 6 because you really feel inside of you that Muslims this is not correct. Because if you
Tell me,
really
at what
understood
age did he marry her?
19.
You could check it.
Who do I need
you
to
don't know
check
your own
it?
stories.
I can tell you because you heard the stories that you need to hear. They made you look at it the wrong
If she
way.
was 19, she was in her prime.
Allah.
No, but it's not.
Man, these are again. We want to sit and arm wrestle about history, about people talking shit and whatever.
No, because
we want to talk about fact, and the facts. It says Prophet Muhammad. It doesn't tell you what his actions were. What he did says this, just like in Moses too, and there's just like in
forget
Jesus.
about forget
So
forget
let's
about
not worry about who he married.
forget about everything. When I said the foundation,
the
when I
foundation
said
is
the
not bad.
foundation,
The foundation that they're bad. They married. Look at him. He married a young wife. Who would marry a young wife? Like that's a
no. 19 is great.
No, but you said that because that's what
19
you believe.
is great.
And then you say the
But if
foundation
you
is
look-
based on killing.
if you-
It's not based on killing. Israel's also. Israel's based on killing too. The country itself, for it to stand where it's at. Ben, for the love of God, I respect you a lot. I respect what you stand for.
I have
we
to,
shouldn't
but I
push
have to,
religion.
but
in
I have
wrong
to share
ways.
my part.
What
I have to
What
share
part?
my
Just
part.
share your
If I
part
want
to
to say
believe in
something,
God. Believe in a God just like we all.
but you have to let me
and-
speak at some point in time.
I am letting you speak, but when
If-
you speak, if I look,
I
how
want
long
you
did
to
I speak? Did
understand
I
that
say
I
anything
have
wrong with
nothing-
Judaism? Did I
No,
come and
but
say anything wrong with Prophet Moses? Did I come and look up his GTV? Where did he fart the wrong way? Did he just come on, man?
But
Let's not talk like that. There's no
but
reason for that. Let's
you
talk
cannot-
reality.
yeah,
We're
it's-
embarrassing Islam. I'm not allow you to embarrass Islam
God
in
forbid.
front of me
I'm not-
because
I'm
I'm
not
on
trying
social
to-
media. There's nobody else that can defend it, so I have to defend it.
No.
And I'm sure that someone told you whatever you want to say. So I just want to correct because everything that you stand for is amazing.
But a second ago, you said also about Jews, that Jews are killing and are terrorists and this and that.
There's
But-
all I'm telling you. There's
You
there's
will not-
extremists in every religion.
There is.
and that's all I'm
But
saying.
if a
Correct or
Jew-
not correct, that's
There
all I'm
is.
saying.
There's
I
extremists in
have
every
not
religion
pointed that
because
Jews are bad.
because
I still
men-
tell everybody I love
because
Jews,
men-
and I
because-
respect them as long as they respect my religion. Just
Men-
that's what Prophet Muhammad did. You said, you know what? You do your thing, because also Prophet Muhammad said, if 10 Jews would have accepted Islam, there won't be the whole world would have been Islam right now. So with that being said,
because he
let them,
wanted
let
us
them,
to
he let
become
them.
Muslim.
Huh?
He wanted us to become Muslim, and because we didn't want to become Muslim, he killed us.
But he didn't kill them. No,
He killed thousands of Jews.
Why
He
didn't
killed one family and married the wife in the same day.
Listen, that's
You
a story.
can read off of
That's a story.
ChatGPT if you want.
That's a story.
I'm telling you.
I have every
At
right
the end
to
of the
enlighten
day,
you. Just
at the
like
end
I'm
of the
doing
day,
right
if
now.
this is listen,
Ben, right now I'm telling you right
but
now.
if this is a
wrong. If
debate,
you want to get up and right now hit me because I'm telling you, or try to hit me
But
because
if-
I'm
but-
telling you that.
but
how-
it's
what
a
you're-
debate.
how
Yes,
you
I
look-
could say my part. You could say
okay,
yours.
and I'm explaining my part. I have to continue explaining
Because
my part.
if
It's still
I-
a debate. It's
if
still,
you're not
I'm gonna
letting
let
me
you
debate you, then
you're debating, and I'm giving you back real facts. You
But
keep
if you're
giving
not
me
let-
donkey stories. What the fuck
but if
does
you're
a
not
donkey
letting
story
me
got to do with
debate
this?
you, if you're
Look, I'm
not
with you,
letting
I'm
me
debating.
debate you, then it can go anywhere.
Sure, why are we bringing up donkeys in this fucking podcast? What
One of the
hell's-
famous stories.
No, that's not a famous story.
Very
No,
famous.
No, it's not. Regardless of the matter, that's not
At
where we
least,
get
at
it.
least I heard it from my Muslim friends, because I didn't hear this from my
those are
Jewish
not-
friends.
Those are you got. Just like you, they're Muslims, probably not enriched the right way. They don't got the right knowledge about it. Just like you don't have the right knowledge about Islam. And don't tell me right now you're a perfect Jew.
God forbid.
right?
I don't practice almost anything in Judaism.
See, but you believe there's a God.
I was-
in the one
I
God
was
and
born-
the basics of it.
I
And I'm
was
just-
I was born into a Jewish family. I was born into a Jewish family because Jews became more westernized and modernized. We don't practice Judaism anywhere close to the way we should.
Okay.
I'm the worst Jew that you could look at.
but
Because
should
when
I
it comes
kill you
down
for
to
that? Should
when
I
it
kill
comes
you?
down to religion, no. But I don't. It doesn't matter to me if you're a non-practicing Muslim or you are a practicing Muslim. I'm a non-practicing Jew.
Well,
Do I know a lot about Judaism?
one
Yeah,
second. Would you
but I
sit with
also
me right now
believe
and
that
debate with me,
religions.
Ben,
I believe that
would you
religions
debate
are
with
here.
me right now if I'm not a
Wait.
man of God? I'm
Wait.
asking you a real answer.
No, you're a man of God.
Would you sit with me? You know,
You've had a lot. You've had a lot going on in your life.
Would you let
You've
me
done
sit
a
with
lot
you
of
if I wasn't a
things.
man of God? That's all I'm asking you.
No.
But because you understood
I
that
would
I'm a
not.
man of God, I have.
Yes,
you saw
I'm a
through
man
my
of God
videos.
too.
And that's why I also agreed to sit
But
down. to you
because
I
of
see that
religion-
the only thing is we don't want to divide people with religion. That's
But
all.
because of, I think that religion has
that's what
to do a
continues
lot
happening.
with controlling.
People are
which-
using it.
which-
Yeah, mankind is
No,
using
no,
it.
no.
to a certain
Even in
degree.
Judaism, it doesn't matter which one. Even in Judaism,
Yeah.
it's a lot controlling because the end of the day, and I don't know if I shared it on the last podcast, but the end of the day, when God brought Adam and Eve into the world, he brought Adam and Eve here naked. The reason he kicked out Adam and Eve, because Adam ate from the apple, because Eve told them to eat from the apple. And then how he realized that they ate from the apple, when they understood that they realized that they are naked. So they covered up with fig leaves. And he was like, why are you guys covered up? And they said, well, it's a little bit embarrassing to be naked. And then he understood that they ate from the apple that gave them the conscious.
Yeah.
And then he kicked us out of Garden of Eden because he wanted us naked. And now in every religion, you cover everybody. Every woman has to be covered. The men have to be covered. Everybody has to be covered.
So what are you
But
trying to say?
when God brought us into this world, he brought us here completely naked. He kicked us out of Garden of Eden because we were dressed up. We were
Okay,
covering.
Okay.
Are insurance companies giving you the runaround? Don't settle for less. Public Assist fights for you, not the insurance companies. To get the maximum payout on your claim, whether it's for fire, water, or property damage, call Public Assist today and tell them the WiseNuts sent you. Get what's rightfully yours. 818-242-0998. 818-242-0998 because you deserve every single dollar. Are you looking for a place to socialize, network, while having a cigar and a drink at the same time? Well, the Glen Arden is the place for you. If you're interested in becoming a member with the Glen Arden Club, contact the WiseNuts. We'll connect you to the boys at the Glen Arden, and you could become a member here. Smoke with the WiseNuts, smoke with a great network, and build your network.
Andrew Tate, just so they know, because it's not his brother. His brother didn't go into Islam, right? So he's not a fake Muslim. Tate went into Islam. That's a fake Muslim. That's not a real Muslim. He does not pray multiple times a day. You know how many times you have to pray per day?
5 times.
5 times. He does not pray 5 times. He drinks alcohol. He has a lot of women. None of them are virgins. All of them are in their mid-30s to almost 40 years old. He uses them to exploit them sexually, to show their tits and all those things.
For him
He
to make
doesn't
money,
cover
yeah.
their women and his women. And more than that, More than that, he doesn't live with any of them. He lives with his brother and his friends. I personally think he's gay.
And he doesn't say any of them are his wives too.
Of course.
You know, he doesn't even exercise the right if you're gonna have multiple wives.
And he says, if my bitch says anything, I'll smack her.
That's prohibited.
This is
in
the way.
Islam.
And then he also said in a video, a very famous video, that Muslims are not real Muslims if they're not chopping off heads, going crazy.
Maybe he was set
like
up by certain
ISIS.
people to say he's Muslim,
Listen.
so they can make us look bad too.
Listen. You know,
Yeah.
he said the real Muslims,
I heard that.
they're the ISIS, the ones that chop off heads, go crazy, and burn people alive. Look,
Because
in
whoever
every
it's-
Muslim country, are you allowed to be gay?
no,
No, you get buried alive or burnt alive.
it's halal to kill him.
But it's wrong to kill them, because if God made them gay, how can
Do
you
you
tell
really
them?
think they were made gay, or society makes them gay?
Society.
Exactly. So God didn't make them
100%.
gay.
Nobody was
God-
born gay.
God- nobody's born gay. So if
You-
you are
you
gay
can't
and
tell me you-
practicing gay in front of kids and
Ben, what happens if you're Jewish and you're gay?
If you're Jewish and you're gay,
Yes.
I guess you're happy. I don't know.
You get a second circumcision.
Second circumcision? Do they reattach
No,
it?
no. You know the rabbi, he chops them off. He works for tips.
he
The
works for
rabbi
what?
works for tips.
Works for
You,
tips?
you mean the moil?
The moel, yes.
Really?
The chops off. He works for tips. Get it?
They're not supposed to,
No, in
How do-
Israel,
how do-
in
how do-
Israel,
what-
let me tell you, because of the U.S., because of the Western culture, now you have a ton of gay guys in Israel, all living in Tel Aviv, and they have gay parades.
yeah.
That's where I come to Islam and I say, they're doing the not killing, yes, but now not allowing gay people to just come and destroy the streets and showing that they're
you're
gay
saying
and
you respect
walk
that?
around naked and kissing and making out and coming out there and telling people that they should be gay.
So you respect that, you're saying.
I respect the fact that you're not allowed to do that, but I would never ever hurt a human who has not hurt another
We
person.
don't want to hurt anybody.
You know what
We're
I mean?
not supposed to hurt another
But
person.
that's
a
what
sin.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in Islam, if you are in a Muslim country,
But
you're not allowed to be gay. If, for example, if a woman gets raped, it's like horrible for the family. The brother has to kill her. They stone her in the middle of the town.
Depending
They
on the
bury her
rituals
up
and
to
how
her
they-
neck, and then they stone her. There's certain things that are extreme. They're really extreme. For example, this guy right now got caught with coke, 28 grams of coke. He got 40 years in prison in Dubai. You know, these other twins in Dubai as well, they got caught with coke. They got, I don't know how many life sentence.
You don't agree you have to have
Yeah,
a structure for a religion to lead?
But to be so
look at you and I.
extreme,
Aren't we,
it's crazy to me.
Aren't we claiming to ourselves, God given us the power to become, to continue leading?
Yes, don't
And we believe in a
don't
God.
do drugs.
Don't do
100%.
drugs. Don't
Don't
do
do
alcohol.
drugs.
Alcohol.
Don't do drugs. I barely drink alcohol once in a while. Last time I came, they gave me a drink. So once in a while, I'll drink alcohol, but that is because I respect my body. But I would never want to think that if you, for example, were caught with a little bit of cocaine in Dubai, you get 40 years in prison. You know, that's too crazy for me.
Sometimes certain things.
Or because if you're gay, then you would be killed. That's crazy for me, you know? Or if a daughter gets raped, then because it is like a disrespect of the family. She didn't do anything. She got raped.
It depends on.
She needs to be killed.
It depends on a lot of circumstances.
Look, I understand that you don't like it when I speak about Islam, and it sounds to you like I'm disrespecting it, but I'm not. But at the end of the day, you have to let somebody speak. You need to let them say whatever they feel or what they think. People should be able.
I'm not gonna let you speak.
But
Whatever you
people-
want to speak. No,
but people should
I'm
have
not.
an
If I have
opinion.
to speak louder because you're just speaking whatever you want to speak, I gotta enlighten you, man. Excuse me by that, man. Really,
Listen, people have opinions.
you got an opinion, and I
It's
have my
completely
opinion
fine.
too.
You can't take things too personal.
I'm not taking anything personal. I have
Imagine
my
right now, I would take personal the fact that you are Muslim
Yeah.
and I'm Jewish.
Okay.
And only Muslims have killed my ancestors, my cousins,
Yeah.
my family. And now I take it personal because you're Muslim.
I'm not taking it that way. And even if you did take it that way, and what? Where are you trying to get with this, man? Seriously, where are you trying to get with this? I'm not going to allow you to talk the wrong way in my presence, man.
Akhuya, you think you're tough, huh?
Gentlemen,
I
very
know.
quickly, there's
You
a
think
there's
you're
a
tough.
video that Ali posted a little while ago, and we're gonna play this video very quickly, and we want to get both Ali's and Ben's comments on it. So, Joe, can we play that video very quickly?
Walk like a king, or walk like you don't give a f who the king is.
That's the video that they sent me and said that he was speaking personally to me. Was it to me?
No, it wasn't to you. I'll tell you personally right now, I don't give a fuck who you are if you're going to disrespect my religion. You hear me?
Ali, you're a nice guy. But you're not speaking to somebody that will just let you speak this way, you know?
What the fuck are you going to do about it? I'm not going to allow you to speak to me the way you want to speak to me.
Ali, if you have a personal problem with me, forget religion. Put religion aside.
You know what? Fuck this shit, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
Ali. Come on! Hey,
Show you, fucker. Come on! Come on! Come on! It should have never got that way, but we just...
The reason why we brought you guys together was to make sure everything was cool, everything was, as they say, everything was kosher, nothing was heated.
Yeah, but
come on.
I had to go... Yeah, actually, I didn't like talking about this. It just triggered me.
I know.
And I still just can't talk about that.
Would you want to ever sit down with him one more time, maybe hash it out? Or
Hash it out. Right now. He talks about he wants to fight someone in the ring. Me, bro.
What the hell happened, man? Hey, no, seriously, what the hell was that, bro? I mean, you guys were had good energy in the beginning.
Listen, you can't always agree. But if he thinks he's going to stand up, then if you weren't here, I'd break his head in half.